God's morning to you all. Today is Thursday, August 22nd, 2024. The time is approximately 8:42 a.m. Central Time here in the great United States. I'm not sure how far this will reach, but I definitely wanted to uh, get on here and provide um, my own analysis of the AMC chart. I've been looking at quite a few other reviewers. Some are invested, some are still waiting, but nonetheless, I've kind of made my own journey with technical analysis, and I just wanted to point out something that I observed when I was looking at my watch list this morning. Um, Maybe some of you have heard about um, fractal sequences and how chart patterns tend to play out. So today we're going to look at Tesla and AMC comparatively. And one thing I want to point out is that obviously, these are very, very different stocks. Tesla already had proven itself, over the last decade or so, and we're kind of in a moment in time where markets are um, continuing to push higher, despite some, economic weaknesses and things happening in the background. So what I want to start off with is this chart on the left, which is Tesla. Okay, so we have a time period from January 6, 2023 um, to about June 6th, 2024. And so, what I wanted to highlight is the simple fact that we have a very, very similar look on AMC. Um, so, as you can see, we do have, let me go to these settings real quick. We do have sort of this move here on Tesla from Jan 2023 to about July 2023. And then we can actually draw the same sort of shape here on AMC. And we have January 2021 till about June 2021. So that's the first piece, in this whole puzzle that I think I thought was interesting and that we could potentially draw insight from. And so from there, we see as well what comes after with Tesla is this sort of downward move from the peak in July 23 to the low in April 2024. And so while this portion looks a little different on Tesla compared to AMC, I just want to sort of get out of it what I think is the comparable makeup here. All right, and then we'll do this on AMC as well. I think we are somewhere here. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think my wave 4 is probably here. This is probably here, like this. Yeah, something like that. So structurally, we have similar but different um, sequences with Tesla and AMC. I think what really caught my attention was this wave 4 down, right? Sorry, wave 5 down here. So on Tesla, we go from about December 23 to April 24. And for AMC, that looks like, I'm gonna just go to the peak here, to the low. Actually, no. Let me go further back. So that's about February 23 to April 24. So a few months off, we'll call it 2 months off for when AMC peaked in its wave 4 move to begin the wave 5 cycle compared to Tesla. And so if we examine now, because now I think we have kind of what we were looking for in terms of the similarities in the cycle. So like I said, we had this low here in January 23 up to the local high here, or I guess the swing high from that point in February 23, then to the swing low in April 23, and then the high in July 23. And all this happened in AMC in 2021. Okay, so basically it's a bigger move that I am anticipating percentage wise for AMC, and I know a few others are calling for larger moves as well. Some are calling for much shorter moves to like the $20 area. In this next part that we're going to look at, I think this will kind of give us insight to what we can expect reasonably from just a purely technical analysis perspective. Okay, so I'm going to hit the play button because I'm doing a bar replay on Tesla right now, so we can see kind of what shapes up after we put in this cycle. And then I guess we have this micro cycle here on wave 5. Like this, that AMC clearly shows. And then I will make this a different color just so we can see it. Nope, not gonna do that. I'm gonna do blue. All right, so that is, I think the cycle that is pretty obvious. That is similar in comparison to AMC. And let me, I guess, remove that since we already looked at it. And then we will replicate that over here. Okay. All right, perfect. So now we're looking at basically the same chart. I thought it was pretty interesting to see once I saw it this morning. Like I said, two very, very different stocks, but more or less the same makeup in terms of structure. And so from here, we have this sort of pop up from the lows, right? Brief consolidation, and then a peak. For Tesla, it happened in seven days. Looks like from a Monday to a Monday. I don't think there were any, there weren't any missing trading days, so no holidays or anything. So yeah, it took 5 trading days for that move to happen. And AMC, it took a little bit longer. So this is saying it took 28 days. And trading days, it was about half of that. So structure on AMC, it's taking a lot longer to play out. As you can see, this move took almost 3x the amount of time. I guess 4x really, 7 days compared to 28 days. And then the overall cycle, December 23 to April 24, compared to, let me see what this is. It's kind of bunched up here. July 23 to April 24. So it took a extra 6 months about for this structure to play out. So I'm thinking when this does go, it might take a little longer to reach its apex on this technical move. But let's see what Tesla did from this point. Okay, so the top was obviously in here. We know that the markets, I believe, started to fall on the 14th of July, if I'm not mistaken. But if we take a measured move from, let's see, let's go from here to here and see what we get. So there's probably a fib level here in between the 2618 and 1618 level. But regardless of that, we definitely saw this sort of retracement right back to the high of this cycle, right? Okay, and that took from the low of this consolidation, right? So from this consolidation range, the low of the range here on June 11th to the peak on July 11th, 2024, was 30 days and about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 trading days. Okay. So similarly, from the low of this consolidated range on AMC, I don't want to say we go in 20 trading days, but I believe the move up will look similar to what Tesla did here. Okay, so it actually peaked past the high of this wave 5 cycle here that we looked at earlier, and it went to about to this area just before it, like in between here. So I think on AMC, if we're examining the same thing, I do have a zone here. It's a rather large zone, but let me pull that up real quick. So this dotted purple line is the midpoint of the zone. And the high of the zone is obviously the top of the box, the low of the zone being the bottom of the box. And this line is about, well, it's 52 more or less. So I think on the initial push up, we should see a move to at least 50, and it might squeak past. I know there's a gap, so there's a gap here on this candle. If you zoom in a little bit, there's a gap here on this candle from July 24, 2023 at 51.62. So I definitely think we at least come to this level once AMC does officially break out. So yeah, I mean, the more coiled a chart is, the you know the more violent the move. Tesla was pretty coiled here for a fraction of the time, and it still pushed pretty aggressively and completely to its its cycle high here. And so let's see what happens after and what comparisons we can look at with AMC um, once it gets going. So I knew a drop to 180 was coming simply because of the again of the structure. And so the low of this previous consolidated range is right here at 194. So we're going to squeak below it, but more or less close like right by it. Okay. So we had price shoot below it, and this is important with structure as well. Um, the closes matter the most, and like I said, we tested 180, 182, but we closed the lowest close once it dropped was here on this red candle at 191.71. Um, so that's how basically we knew this was the bottom for the market. When you see candles like this, AMC put in a similar thing here. I know there's certain YouTubers who are calling for another slip below 570, but even to the low $4 range. But it just doesn't make sense structurally for the market overall, and definitely for this current setup that we have. So I also have some trend lines showing kind of how close we are. Um, so again, I always draw my trend lines at the peaks and the closes of candles. So that's why this low here is ignored, because it closed back within the channel, right? So this upper line of this downtrend line, or of this support line here, um, is right at the close, the lowest close within this channel. So we've tested the range of this of these channels so many times, and usually the fourth time it touches the lower level, it breaks out. So we have one, two, three, four, even five touches. Um, it's not going any lower from here, I don't believe. I can say that with probably like 90% confidence that we're not going to go lower than this low that we put in on Tuesday. Um, and once we do get a move outside of this range, okay, so obviously if you see here on Tesla, once we broke the high here on April 29th, right? So we opened above it, and then we closed below it, and then the next day we gapped above that level here. So I'm talking about Friday, June 28th. We opened above the high here, okay? And then we closed below it, and then the next day on a Monday, we we gapped up above it, and we just went. So what I'm thinking is next week, last week of um, August, we're going to move higher above this Tuesday, May 14th high, okay? Just a little bit past it, right? So maybe to 14, right? So I'm looking at this consolidation area here. We might squeak past it, okay? And then for the options, we might close back under, say, maybe at 10, okay? We can do 9.99 just above it. That's where we probably close, but we'll definitely see price action above it, around 13 or 14. And then first week of September, we'll get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. So 2 weeks into September, we'll likely find ourselves trading at about 50 to 52 dollars. So yeah, I honestly like predicting the market is hard. Predicting the market is, um, you know, everyone's dream. But when you have information, the only thing that you can do is leverage that information to make decisions. And I think we have sort of, some clues here with the Tesla chart. Again, you guys can see it, pretty obviously. The structure is the same. It's just on a, different scale, and on a larger scale. So Tesla going from 138, you know, to 270, um, isn't as crazy as AMC going from 238 to 52. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's multiples of a difference. And so the last thing I want to comment on is where Tesla eventually um, receded to after it made its move to the high. Okay. So it basically came down to this consolidated range that it was in previously. So here's the high of that range, and here's the low of that range, right? And if we extend it, Tesla came back to the bottom of it, closed below it one day, and then found its way right back in the zone the next day. So if we do the same for AMC, right? So we didn't go to the top of the channel on Tesla, right? But we did come to about just past the midpoint. So we can even say 57 might be in play. Um, but what I'm expecting AMC to do is to ultimately do something like this. Let me get my drawing tool, sorry. So do something like this, where we come here, like I said, to about 14, come back down to just under 10, and then come up here, and then fall down to the bottom of this range. And then from there, honestly, we could continue um, to the next zones. And I would probably say, keep an eye on Tesla to kind of see what it does from here. My thought is that it breaks out of this zone and goes for the next zone in the 380s. And so for AMC, that would put us in the 180s. You know what I'm saying? And again, this is pure speculation, and it's not financial advice. But it is my honest take on kind of what I'm seeing in the chart and how I'm preparing myself to, take advantage of this impending move. And I know my chart takes it out to like October. Um, I don't know, exactly how long it will take, but I do believe the end of this move out of this consolidated range we have here on AMC will materialize in September. So then once we peak here, we would probably consolidate, after earnings, after the election, and into the next seasonal bull cycle, which is um, kind of November through January. So there'll be some consolidation after this period, but I think an opportunity to get back in if it holds the bottom of this range here around 33. So yeah, I think that's everything that I have to mention. Um, you know, a lot of you guys have been waiting on this for a very long time. I have not been in AMC um, this whole time, but I definitely, feel for you guys, and I think there is some relief coming. But just look out for structure, man. Look out for structure. I think anyone who knows a little bit about, TA will tell you, like, this is a great chart. My wife, who does not trade at all, she looked at this chart for not even 2 seconds, and she's like, "Oh, that's a cup and handle." You can, call it a cup and handle, inverse head and shoulders, whatever. but there's ways that you can measure it. And like I said, once you find clues in the market, it's kind of hard to not see it. And so I think Tesla offers a great pathway into what we can expect with AMC once it does start to get going a bit. So yeah, that's my plan. I hope you guys, have been patient and anticipating this thing. But I do think the you know end of this sort of consolidated period is going to end soon, and we should see some crazy price action over the next few weeks on AMC and small caps in general, the market in general, and yeah, good trading and good luck. God bless you guys. Peace.